All right, I was going through editing this video and it got to be like 25 minutes long, and nobody wants to sit there and watch. I didn't want to sit there and watch me dab on that stupid thing for 25 minutes, even though I do a lot of talking. But I'm just going to edit the video and just condense it way down, just show what's been done. A lot of the purists aren't going to like it. I don't really care because the font is not correct, and the C and the P on the selector markings are actually a little bit too big. And the C is a bubbly C instead of a tight C, you know, because it's not correct, but I don't care. So it is what it is, and this is how I did it. Well, I figured it's time to get busy on this Type 3. Need to make some videos anyway. And I was wanting to send it out and get etched before, you know, or engraved before I did any of the machine work on it in that video I did forever and a day ago. I appreciate you guys hanging out and still keeping me in your subscriptions, even though I very rarely put videos out. But now that my videos are staying up so far and YouTube hasn't really struck me too hard, they have hit me with a few violations here and there. But fingers crossed, I'll just kind of keep putting along and see how it goes. Anyway, I figured I'd get back on this Type 3, this Polish, and instead of sending it out to get etched, because I've already machined the holes and stuff in here so it's considered a firearm, so I can't send it anywhere other than to an FFL. But figured I'd play around with it, see about etching it myself. And I see the 9-volt setups, you know, you need 9-volt battery and saltwater etching, which is what we're going to do here. I got salt water in a little bowl there. That's table salt. Don't use sea salt. That doesn't work. Table salt. But I messed around with that, and that worked pretty good. I even had an AC/DC adapter, you know, like on little pumps and stuff like that. And I had one that I cut and put the leads on there, little alligator clips, and that worked. But the 9-volt seemed to work the best. And I was on Amazon one day, and I happened to see these DC power supplies that people use for like working on circuit boards and computer work and stuff, you know, in their own homes or whatever, or labs. And it's only like $50. So I was like, well, what the heck? I'll get it and try it. Well, I'm glad I did. The little test pieces I did worked really good. I'll throw in some pictures here. You may have seen some of it on Facebook or Instagram if you follow me there. But I thought, why not? They have models like this one that go only to 5 amps, which you see it maxed out here in the red. That's 5 amps at 9 volts, 5 amps. They have another one looks just like this, but it goes up to 10 amps. But I figured the 5 amp will be good because most 9-volt batteries only go to 2, up to 2, maybe a little over in the amps. But I could mess around with this and adjust it. And the 9-volt really seems to work good. But I wanted a little bit more amps. You know, I've done some test pieces. I'll throw in some pictures there so you can see that. I made my own little wand. Got an O-ring on it and I've realized that when you get these little shop towels, you can pick them up. As I bumped the camera there, you pick them up at like O'Reilly's, at your auto parts store or whatever, and you get them wet and you keep them folded up and lay them on your bench. They'll stay wet for a long time. So I use that with my test piece, and it seemed to do pretty good because you don't want it soaking wet where you press down on the metal and then just, you know, fluids running out everywhere, because that's going to ruin stuff. You just barely want it damp enough. That way it transfers that electric current through there and etches the steel. So I got a little pad here on my die grinder there. I'm going to clean this area up here. Hopefully it worked in the little test pieces and I don't screw this up, because you can really only do this once. Fingers crossed I don't screw it up. So I'll get the camera set up a little better, hopefully, because if I do it from here, I'm going to be in the way. You're not going to be able to see anything. All right, I cleaned everything off with a little Scotch-Brite pad on my die grinder here. Go ahead and wipe it down with some alcohol. Make sure everything's gonna be clean. I got it flipped around so it's upside down for me, but hopefully for you it'll be all right. Now I've already got this soaked. I already tested it to make sure all this was going to work. My little stencil here made with Brother P-Touch 700. It's a little waterproof paper, and it makes a stencil basically. It works. I've tested it and it does work. It's probably not top notch, but it seems to work all right. You probably aren't gonna be able to see any of that on there, but we'll get this put down on here about where I think it might want to be. And let's see, somewhere around there. This isn't going to be perfect as far as, well, I guess I could cut some of that off the bottom there. I mean, as far, I tried to guesstimate how tall the numbers are supposed to be and the spacing and all that. It's not going to be perfect. I may have taken too much off. But this isn't a factory built rifle. This is built in my garage. So, oh well, some people get really anal about how this isn't the right size, that ain't got the right kind of spacing to it and all this. It's like, really? When you build yours, knock yourself out and make sure you do it the way you want it. It's kind of like those people that gripe and bitch about when somebody puts steak sauce on their steak. Hey, you run that steak. Well, may have run it for you, but that person seems to enjoy it that way, so shut up. What's the point? Hopefully my head's not in the way. That might be a little too close. I end up tearing my freaking stencil. No. Oh, I got it off of there. Probably could have done this off camera, huh? Need be, I'll speed it all up. Very nice. All right. Please, my C and my P are up and orientated in the correct direction. It's very hard to actually see those letters and stuff on the... Like I said, they're actually a lot bigger than they need to be, because look at this one here. They're a lot smaller, but oh well. Some of you might not like that, but oh well. It's not your rifle, so. Yeah, they're a little bigger than they need to be. Well, it seemed to work pretty good. It says $50, and you don't need that. You can do a 9-volt, but I wanted to play around with it and see if I could, what would work best. And even though it's on 9-volt, it's at the full 5 amps. And all of this, the 9-volt will stay there, but when you're actually touching the metal, this will actually dance around and tell you how many amps are going through it and what the wattage is. I just made me a little aluminum wand. Use a shop rag because it really holds the moisture on there. You can see how it basically anodizes it. And it gets it really black. And the O-rings just to help hold it on there. Looks like it might wipe off. I don't know. I guess that's similar to anodizing. I don't know. I don't know about anodizing. But that works really well. As you can see, you can see how it looks a little almost like it's dot peened, kind of. It's got that little, I don't even know how to describe it, little jagged sections in it or down inside. Because it's just a picture I made on AutoCAD and then blew it up. Yeah, this little setup here seems to work all right. And I bounced the camera off the table. That's just salt water. So I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching.